night again. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. If you're watching us from the Pacific or in California, where I am based, good evening to everyone. And if you're watching us from the Philippines, it is Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. So magandang hapon or tanghali rather or hapon sa inyong lahat. And like what I always ask and hope that you had a wonderful lunch with your loved ones and your family. And if you're watching us in different parts of the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's kind of weird weather here in Los Angeles. And just as a disclaimer, you're gonna have an interesting show today, and so bear with us because our technical team, including the owner, is stranded in Reno, Nevada. As I've told you in the past, we are based in Las Vegas for the main station, but because of the snowstorm that's going on this side of the country, they were not able to fly. But it is what it is, and I know it's going to be very interesting topic and interesting show because we have a wonderful, wonderful guest, and we're lucky to have this doctor with us today because there's several topics we're going to be discussing tonight. But before anything else, we are live on PHLV Radio Facebook page, as well as we are simultaneously broadcasting live on PHLV YouTube channel. So if you're not a subscriber yet, what are you waiting for? So you won't miss any of the shows. So all you have to do is likes, share, and subscribe. So you, as I've always, especially now we have so many team replays watching all the replays of my shows and other shows of PHLV Radio. And also, if you are using Alexa, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play PHLV Radio. And if you are using Amazon Fire TV, all you have to do is look for PHLV Radio channel. Now, those people still asking if we miss your show or shows rather, where can we find you? That is no problem. PHLV Radio YouTube channel. You could always, we're part of a playlist already on all the shows we've done here. Not only my shows, but all the shows here at PHLV Radio. Or you could check us on our website, which is www.phlvradio.com. And those people who, for some reason or another, are not able to log in on your internet, we are streaming live also through audio streaming on different podcasts, namely Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. So for our team replay, happy viewing to everybody. I know a lot of times you will text me and say we are not able to watch your live show. However, we're watching the replay. And again, before anything else, thank you for all those support because we're seeing the numbers. It's so weird because we're getting more views on team replay. So either way, welcome po at magandang hapon at magandang araw sa inyong lahat. So without much further ado, ito na, marami tayong pag-uusapan because our topic for today is successful 30th anniversary and with a wonderful flourishing careers. Because most of the time, ang kasi concern, especially Filipinos abroad, na you cannot have a career as well as a successful married life. So we're going to talk about that, aside from other things that our good guest today would be able to share with us. And he's going to do the secret reveal on how to have a successful marriage and have it for 30 years. Imagine 30 years. Almost, grabe, half my lifetime na yata yun. Anyway, without much further ado, let me introduce to you none other than Dr. John Anthony, or they better known as Dr. J. Dueñas. Hello, Dr. J. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon, Josh from the Philippines. Thank you for this opportunity to be a guest of your very famous program. AlamMoBa, Josh. So thank you for this opportunity.
And you promise you're gonna co-host one of these days in my other show in Dear Kuya Josh. I think especially when it talks about on the medical issues of one of the I have received a letter regarding that. Okay, but before anything else, before we go into the topic for the day, a lot of people are asking the background of the Dueñas. Saan po talaga ang Dueñas came from?
Well, my father is originally from Pulilan, Bulacan. No?
Okay.
While my mom is from Basista, Pangasinan. But all of us children, their children were born here in Quezon City.
Okay.
So, yan. Oo.
And then, so how many are you from a big family? Kayo po,
Yeah,
you as a child, yeah.
yeah. Well, my own family, for my parents and my siblings, there's only three of us kids. But on the side of my dad and my mom, they have several brothers and sisters. Now, remember back then, usong-uso yung paramihan ng anak.
Correct.
Ngayon, because of the, there are lots of challenges to raise up a family, talagang limited na, no? Talagang bihira na ngayon nagtatatlong anak, usually one or two kids
Correct.
lang, no? Yan. So,
yung family niyo po, how many siblings do you have again?
I have two. I have my brother, my eldest brother. He's both of them are living in Edmonton, Canada.
Okay.
My middle sibling is a sister. Both of them are in Edmonton,
Okay, so
Canada.
you're the youngest.
I am the youngest, and I
Oh,
am the
okay.
prodigal child because
Okay.
I chose not to go to go abroad and decided to stay here in the Philippines.
Well, you cannot, it's more fun in the Philippines, and
Correct.
and especially now, Filipinos abroad, we're all
Yeah.
migrating back to the homeland because I
Mm.
think after doing what we need to do on the education stuff and also professional stuff, there's this I would say an influx of people flying back and resettling back in the Philippines, which is good for the country. And I think you're one of the few ones that talaga who stayed. Now,
Yes.
question, yung pong mga
Yes.
siblings nyo, are you all in the medical profession or you're the only one who went to medicine?
I am the only one who's in medicine. My brother is an ECE graduate, while my sister is a dentistry. But both of them are not practicing what they studied because
Is that
they
right?
have different. They don't have. They have. Well, my brother is sort of related to ECE because he also works in software. But
Yeah.
my sister, she's working as a pharmacy assistant, not as a dental, not not so much related to dentistry. So I'm the only one who's a doctor in the family.
Yeah, but when the way they do it is when they go back to the country, they're licensed anyway, so they could still practice. Because I know some people, especially I would say 5 years ago, they're doctors in the Philippines and they fly
Yeah.
here not to migrate but to they said that they want to find a greener pasture.
Yeah.
So they started to be a nurse and then they study again. They took the
Right.
exam and now they're doctors. So a lot of times because of the I would say the licensing would be different. So a lot of times they try not to practice what they were before and then eventually they venture into that. Now,
Right.
how was your childhood like being the bunso? Are you a spoiled brat
Well,
or you get away with a lot of things just like what all the bunsos are?
actually, I'm not spoiled because, I would say the favorite in the family is my brother.
The
The
firstborn.
eldest, the
The
firstborn.
firstborn is
No?
always the
And
favorite.
usually the youngest is we are the ones who get the hand-me-downs.
Is
No?
that
Since you are
right?
the youngest.
That's
And especially
interesting.
the pictures. An example, pictures.
Huh?
Pictures, most of the time, the eldest and the middle one they have lots of pictures. But when you're already young, when you are the youngest, most of the time they don't take pictures anymore as often as they used to take pictures.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
normally all the guests that I especially the young ones, they would
yeah.
say they're the favorite, especially
Oh,
if they're the bunso. This is one of those isolated case that you
yeah,
did get the favoritism side of the family. Now, I
yeah,
have a question for you. You
yeah.
being a doctor, was that
Yeah.
a childhood dream or was that inculcated to you while you're growing up? Naging ano po yun?
Actually, it is a childhood dream, Josh, because on the side of my mom, my grandfather, my lolo, he one of his daughter was planning to take. She was already in medicine, but she got married early, so she didn't pursue medicine. So after that, nobody took medicine anymore. So I was a child, they were already telling me, "Oh, it looks like you're going to be the one who's going to be a doctor." And even during high school, when I reviewed my yearbook, what I wrote there is as my ambition is to become a doctor. So
Wow.
actually, I think it is really a childhood dream
To be a doctor.
to be a
Now,
doctor, right?
but I know you passed your doctor licensure in
Yeah.
1990, but during
Yes.
that time, because I have friends and close family relatives that
Mm,
we went to medical school in the Philippines. It's
yeah.
very expensive. Oh my God! I remember
Yeah.
some friends, their parents, they would pawn or they would sell their lands just to send their child or their son or daughters to medical
Yeah.
school. It was tough. It was very
Yeah.
expensive. Even I would assume even now.
Yeah. Now, luckily for me, I got accepted at Pamantasan Lungsod ng Maynila. So it is one of the schools that offers scholarship.
Yeah.
So would you know, Josh, that during when I was in medical school, my tuition fee was always less than 1,000.
Is that right? Oh my God.
Yeah. And
Oh,
I
because of the
the big
scholarship.
because of the scholarship, it was under the city of Manila. So it was the city of Manila who was paying for our tuition. The highest tuition that I paid was only during internship when we paid 1,500.
Wow. Now, when
Would you
you
believe?
get
Yeah.
just like going to UP, right? Is there
Yes, yes,
any is there any contract or any uh like you have to pay it back through service? Was there anything going on at the time, like, or this was like, because one of the things that I personally felt that
yeah,
it's kind of unfair because people who graduated from universities and colleges supported by the government,
yeah,
once they have their degrees, they either fly all over the world and they
yeah,
really don't stay in the country. During
yeah,
your time though, and it was not a long time ago. Was there
yeah,
a promise that you guys need to stay in the Philippines and
yeah,
work it out as a payback to the money that was spent on you?
yeah. We have a contract that you have to serve for 2 years. Huh? Now,
That's nice.
some of my classmates decided to go abroad.
Yeah,
These classmates of mine were required to pay back whatever scholarship that were given to them if you want to be released from the contract.
I could
So
imagine.
they had to
Well,
pay. Yeah,
that's good though because I don't think they're doing that in UP and the UP system. Because
yeah.
I
Is
know
that right? So they don't have any contract
no,
to
because
serve.
I went there for my
Yeah,
second degree and I
yeah,
was never asked to sign.
yeah,
So, but it is what it, and that was the time that I was telling people it's not
yeah.
fair because the money is really from the people,
Right.
the Filipino people, and I think you owe it to the country to
Yeah,
stay and practice whatever they send you, and or else I like the way you said it that you
yeah.
have to pay it back if you decided not
Yes.
to stay. Okay,
Right.
now your specialization is internal medicine, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
now
that's right,
you
Josh.
did your postgraduate residency at the hospital ng Maynila. Am I correct?
At Hospital Maynila, I took up my internship. That
Yeah.
comes after you graduate from medicine. You have to have 1 year of internship at Hospital ng Maynila.
Right. Now, what was your, because I know you take your college and then after that you go to medicine. What was
Yeah.
your major during college?
During college, I took up BS Zoology.
Zoology. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you go to another 4 years
I
of medical school
of
and then
medical school.
another
Yes.
few more years of
Yeah.
residency, right?
Residency. 3
And
years of
why
residency.
and why I said this because I know you were the head chief resident
Right. Yes.
resident person during that time.
Yeah.
That's where you met your lovely
Yeah.
wife, Dr. Christine Elizar, right?
Yeah.
Elizar.
Yeah.
Of course, now it's Dueñas.
Yeah.
Now, let's show some pictures.
Wow, you have a surprise for me, Josh.
Oh, I have a lot of surprise for you. Let's see. Hopefully, we could see that on Facebook and
Yeah.
excuse the technical difficulty. Here we go. We're seeing, yeah. So, just kind of briefly, let's stay on that. So, this is Dr. Christine or Dr. Tin. Are you seeing that? Okay. So, you've been together for 30 years,
Yes.
married. So,
Yes.
was it love at first sight?
Actually, no. Because
Really? Because
actually,
she's a doctor
she's
too.
she's a doctor. Actually, we met at, as you have mentioned, in Hospital ng Maynila.
Yeah.
She's not from PLM. she was an FEU medical student. So
Right.
she was just at Hospital ng Maynila as an intern. And then that's when we met during
So she
internship.
came from the Nicanor Reyes Foundation.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. FEU. Right,
Yeah.
that's correct. Yeah, so that's where we met at Hospital ng Maynila. And you know, when you are in the hospital, so you go on duty, you go on night duty, so you happen to see often each other. And then actually it's not love at first sight. I just well, I just saw her, and then I got attracted to her. And then actually she was also telling me na, oh, I didn't I was not noticing you. I didn't notice you early on because I always tell my wife, okay lang, it's okay for me to be described as being mabait at malambing. Okay na sa akin hindi mo na ma-describe as being pogi.
Because if
So,
you
yeah.
could tell Dr. Tin was very pretty during her younger years, because it still
Yes.
shows now. And let's show some more pictures.
Right.
So how was the courtship like? I mean, if there was not love at first sight, also take us way during those times. So because you said you're a chief resident, and
Yeah.
was she under you?
I was ahead of her for a few months. But usually, what happened is when I not started noticing her, I have these co-interns who are sorry for the word, mga bugaw. They were the ones who were pushing me or saying nice words about me to Christine, no? That he is very mabait, he's very thoughtful, he's very intelligent, he's intelligent. So they were feeding her with nice and positive words. And then when she started noticing me, then that's when we started. I invited her to go out for food, for a meal,
Yeah.
for a meal. And then that's when usually it was all the time that I was treating her for meals. I thought that she had an idea that I was already courting her, but actually she said she didn't think about that. She was thinking all along that I was just inviting her for a meal. But no, I told her I was already trying to make myself to introduce myself to you, that I'm courting you. So after some time, that's the time that we really got to know each other. But mostly our bonding time is really food, eating out.
And I saw that when I was looking at your Facebook as well
Right.
as Dr. Tin. Now, was that a long courtship though? Were you boyfriend girlfriend for a while?
Actually, no, Josh, because I told you that I started early, right?
Yeah.
So I finished early, and then when so after internship, you had to go to take the board exams.
Yes.
And when I passed, uh, my family migrated to Canada.
Oh,
So
okay.
I had to go to Canada. So during that time, we were just new in our relationship. So when I went to Canada, uh, I asked her that I asked her if we can have a relationship already, because I'm already going to Canada.
Yeah.
So then she agreed. So it was not very long, actually, Josh. It was only during internship. Even before the end of internship, we already had that.
So you
And
went
then
to you
yeah,
went to Canada. You migrated to Canada, but you decided to fly back.
right. Because Christine, during the when I told her that I am an immigrant in Canada, she told me that I cannot afford to go to Canada with you because I still have my parents with me and I have to be with them. So I decided just to come back. And then one other thing is because in Canada I wasn't able to practice. I was a new doctor when I was there. So
Yeah.
I felt that uh, sayang, no? Sayang yung time that I took up medicine and then I will not be able to practice in Canada
Correct.
because of the long process of studying again, going into internship, residency
Right.
again.
Yeah.
So I decided just to come back and practice here.
But I think if she hears that, we're just gonna mention that you did it for love.
Right, correct. Yeah,
You
that's
came
a
back
better way
because of
to
love. First and
Actually, that's the
foremost.
reason. That's the
First
reason.
and foremost.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it seems like when you see Dr. Teen even now, and let's show some more pictures because there's one picture that I know you have 3 kids, and
Yeah.
there's you have a fur babies. I didn't
For
know
babies.
that you have fur babies, and that's
Yes.
Hagrid and
Hagrid, yeah.
Chewie.
The poodle. And
Yeah, the
Chewie is
poodle. Let's
the
show them. Oh, look
poodle.
at that. They're
Yeah.
so cute.
Yeah.
And they've been with you for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, they've been the poodle, the white poodle has been for us for a long time. Actually, he has already a cataract. He's an old dog already.
Yeah, because when I was doing my research, I read some of the
Yeah.
description that they're excited when you get home. It's your
Yes.
stress reliever, for the
Yes.
both of you, and they like typical. They're so excited to see you when you guys
Yeah.
open the door, and when they know that you're home, they get all excited and then
Yeah.
jumpy and all over you,
Yes.
and that's
Actually, they are more, you can see their excitement more than our kids when we come home. So we always tell our kids, oh, mabuti pa tong mga aso pagka dumarating kami, nagtatalunan at talagang sinasalubong kami. Yung iba, yung mga anak namin, they are all inside the room and then we just say, hello, we're already here.
Yeah, well, now that you talk about your kids, let's show
Yeah.
your 3 kids, and of course you have uh, Elisa,
Felisa,
Felisa,
Isay. Yeah.
Bettina, and Paolo.
Yeah. The
Who's
oldest
the
is Bettina.
Bettina?
The eldest,
Bettina,
yeah.
and then Paolo. So
Paolo,
Bettina is
and
the
then
eldest.
yes,
Okay,
Bettina is
and
the
then
eldest.
Felisa is the middle child.
No. Paolo is the middle child, the
Is that
boy.
right? Oh, well,
Yeah.
well, okay,
And then the youngest is Felisa or
girl.
Isay. Yeah.
Okay, now I understand that Bettina is on her 4th year of medical school.
No, it is Felisa who is in medical school.
Felisa,
The youngest, the
the
youngest,
youngest is the
Isay,
one.
is the
Okay,
one. She's the one who is in medical school. Bettina, the eldest, is in Japan right now. She's studying Japanese language because eventually she wants to work in Japan, in Saitama, Japan. So
yeah.
she's there right now.
How young is Bettina?
Bettina we are 30 years married. She is 29 years
Okay,
old.
and then Paolo,
Yeah. Paolo is 28. So
and
actually,
then
Paolo,
Felisa.
Bettina and Paolo, they have only their age gap is only 10 months.
Yeah, that happened to my sister too.
Yeah, luckily it was on a different year. But it's possible it can happen in the same year, right? But it's
Yeah,
on the
true.
next year. Yeah. And then
Well,
the
the good
youngest Felisa is 2 years after Paolo.
Okay, well, the great thing about that is because I know you open a business that's the
Yeah.
Dueñas Medical and Children's Center, and one of the things that it's always nice or clinic, children's clinic. It's good that it's like somebody will be continuing the legacy of the Dueñas because you
Yes.
already built a business, and
Yeah.
especially with the caliber that you have, because Dr. Tin, for everybody's information, is a pediatrician, while Dr. J is an internist.
Yes.
So how was that? I mean, because a lot of times it's always been said that normally you want to marry a person different from your field, because
Yeah.
they said that if you marry the same person, the same, like, for example, people in show
Yeah.
business, they try not to marry people within their league, simply
Yeah.
because there's nothing to talk about. In your case, though, was that a problem? Was that a challenge? Or when you guys get together, you talk about cases?
Yeah. We try to avoid talking about cases when we're together. And we are we are on different fields, right? So Christine is pedia while I am an internist. When we got married, and we were planning to have a family, the first thing that we decided was because during that time Christine was just planning to enter residency program or specialization.
Yeah.
So we discussed between the two of us, you have to take a specialization that will not require you to be on call.
That's right.
Especially the surgical specializations like OB, surgery, ENT, they can be called in anytime, even in the middle of the night. They can be called during emergencies. No? So I think that we talk among ourselves. We said that I think it's not good to, when we are starting a family, that you will have that specialization.
Yeah.
That's why she was planning to take up OBGYN. But remember, an OB can be called any time of the day,
Of
even
course,
at
when it's
night, right?
due. Yes, yes.
When they have to deliver, they have to be there, right? So I think since we are starting a family, might as well take up a specialization that will not have any emergency calls or late night calls. That's what
And
we
I,
decided, and we agreed. So
and
both of
besides,
us agreed on that.
I think if the Dr. Teen is into kids anyway, that would be perfect. I think it's a good
Yeah,
combination. So,
right.
and I know when I was doing my little research, you guys like to travel. I mean, you guys
Yes.
don't go everywhere. I've seen
Yeah.
some pictures in Egypt where you were
Yeah.
playing with with the pyramids. Yeah.
Yes.
So and then like what you said earlier, I think the common denominator is food. I always
Yes.
so
Right.
many pictures of you having
Eating out. Right.
eating out in different places, either by the
Yeah.
two of you or
Yeah.
with your kids.
Yeah.
Okay, let's Johan, let's show again the picture of Dr. Tin, the beautiful Dr. Christine. Let's see. Now, if you if you have a message for Dr. Tin, what
Yeah.
would it be?
Well, I always when we celebrated our 30 years, what I serenaded her with a song. If you are familiar with the song, I wanna grow
Actually,
old. I wanna grow old with
actually, we
you.
wanted to show that.
Uh-huh.
It was a 34-second film,
Yes.
and then you did that.
Yeah.
It was lovely, but it's so hard to download it because it's on
Right.
private.
Yeah. Oh.
So,
Yeah, so I told her that I want to grow old with you. I want to spend my whole life with you. That you are my love and you are my life. And I want to spend my elderly years when we are seniors that we are together.
yeah. So how what I know you're very into, aside from what you do professionally. I know
Yeah.
you're very into couples of Christ. When
Right.
did that came into being?
Yeah, that's a good question, Josh. No? When we got married, a few years after, we entered Couples for Christ. Remember, Josh, during our parents' life when they were young, there was no marriage CFC, Couples for Christ, or any marriage encounter. They don't have. So most of the time, they get their marriage techniques from their parents. So
Correct.
it depends on their parents how they will bring up their children. But lucky for us, when we were already as a young couple, we decided to enter Couples for Christ. And when we entered, this is where we truly learned a lot on how to raise up our children and to build up our family. Because in Couples for Christ, it is we get to meet different couples. We have our household meetings, one every week. Most of the time, 3 times a month. So almost every week we have meetings, and then you get to learn the techniques of how to raise up children. And sometimes you will encounter that you attend the meeting and you have a problem, and then all of a sudden you will know that the other couple have a bigger problem than you, and they were able to surpass that. So you will feel, oh, so if they can handle it, we can handle it. So
So
it
it's
really helped us, especially during our early years of
so it's like
marriage.
a counseling.
Yeah, it's actually a marriage renewal.
Mhm.
Yeah, marriage renewal.
So how did that come along? I mean, is that you just stumble onto that? Because I know there's
Yeah.
a lot of organization in the country. There's
Yeah.
LSS, like
LSS,
seminar.
marriage
Then you have
encounter.
marriage counseling. So of
Yeah,
all this, I'm just trying to get into your
yeah,
psyche.
yeah.
Why did you settle? What was something special about couples of Christ or couples Christ?
Couples for Christ. Actually, none. We just well, I would say we knew some friends who are members of Couples for Christ, and we can see that they have good relationship, good marriage. And then when we learned that they were offering they call it CLP, or Christian Life Program, here in our parish, we decided. Nobody invited us, actually, Josh,
Yeah.
but we decided to join that during that time. Oh, actually, there was one neighbor. He's been invite. The one who's inviting us has been inviting us all for several times, and we didn't go. But finally, when we decided, we were the one who joined by ourselves.
And you've been a member of Couples for Christ for a long time now.
Actually, now we're no longer active in Couples for Christ. What we are involved now, because I always think, Josh, that when you are serving the Lord, you can grow wherever you are planted. It
Correct.
can be in Couples for Christ, it can be as lay minister, it can be as lectors, commentators, wherever you are planted, you try to grow and excel in wherever you are placed. So right now, both of us are members of lectors and commentators group. So we are still serving the church, but no longer as member of the Couples for Christ. But we're still connected with several friends who are members of Couples for Christ.
Because I remember before you were running, I think you're running a chapter, something like that.
Yeah, I am.
When I come visit Manila,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
always hear your name. It's Dr.
yeah,
J, Dr. J, or Dr.
yeah,
Dick, but we
yeah,
never got to meet each other.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah, I was the highest. Well, I service. I wouldn't call it work. I wouldn't call it work, but the highest service that we had when we became cluster heads. When
Yeah,
you are
that's
cluster
important.
heads, you are handling several chapters. So that's the highest service that we had
For that. For now,
for Couples for Christ.
would you say that, or would you recommend people to seek something like that, an
Yeah.
organization, regardless where you are? Because I know Couples for Christ and other
Mm.
other organization, they're they're present in different countries as well.
Yeah.
In your experience, is that something that really helped your marriage?
Yeah, I would say 100% that it's really helped us in our married life. Because in get, entering marriage, there's no rule book that this is the ones that you're going to follow. So the being a member of any of the marriage encounter, any marriage renewal movement, will really help you a lot because you can there's bonding. You get to meet different couples and you can see the good thing about in Couples for Christ, in one group sometimes you have elderly couple, sometimes you have new couples, sometimes you people who are been married for a long time now. So you get to see how you get to learn from each other how to build up a family, how to discipline your children, how to manage work and your family. My only concern was, well, just thinking out loud. My only problem with Couples for Christ and some of the organizations is they're taking a lot of time because when we were members, when you especially when you are leaders, so most of the time we call it bingo. When you say bingo, almost every day you are out of the house, you are attending meetings, you have several. So that's my only not only actually a problem, but I would say that a negative thing about it is sometimes it takes a lot of your time away from away from your children, because sometimes during our time when we were active members, our children sometimes say, "Couples na naman, wala na naman kayo." So that's my only concern. So you really have to balance, no? That's why during the time that we are members, even though we are so tired, we stayed up late at night because of meetings. When we are with our children, we have to be very active. When they invite us to eat out, to watch movie, to go out or to go somewhere, we cannot tell them, "No, I'm sorry, I need to rest because we just had a meeting." So we have to still be very active when we are with them.
True.
Yeah.
Now, let's show the picture again of the kids of Felisa, Bettina, and Paolo. Let's see if so. If you have a message for Felisa first,
Yeah.
what would it be? I mean, if she's not watching right now, or maybe a day or
Yeah.
so, she will
Yeah.
watch this. There you go. It's a beautiful family, and Paolo looks like you.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it's like
They're like duplicate. Yeah.
yeah, it's seeing you, the younger version. So you should tell
Right. Right.
Paolo, when you get older, look at me. That's how you're gonna look.
Yeah. And we would say, "Oh, too bad for me."
Now, what's your message to
Yeah.
to Felisa first.
So to Felisa or Isay, you are she is my I used to call her baby doc Isay, because she will be our who will be the next doctor in the family. So I always tell her, because she's having a hard time because of the pressure, because of the stress. She misses some family affairs. So I just tell her that she has to just study hard, and then pray, and then she will, for sure, she will fulfill her dream to become a doctor.
And she is a fourth year into
She's
medicine.
already in fourth year, so she has already hospital rotations,
They
different
call it clinical,
hospitals.
right? Clinical
Yeah,
rotation.
clinical
Yeah.
clerkship.
Where
Yeah.
did she go, or where is she going?
She studied medicine in Fatima, because I'm teaching in Fatima, and if you are teaching at you are a professor in Fatima, you get to have a discount from the
Yeah.
tuition, and the 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 balance will even be paid on a salary basis. So
Oh, it's a salary
it
deduction.
like it's yeah, it looks like that I have I have a daughter who studied medicine without any outright pay, because
Right.
everything was
Well,
yeah.
I'm surprised that you allow her to go to Fatima as opposed
Mm.
to FEU because of
Yeah.
Dr. T, or
Yeah.
because of you from Pamantasan ng Luzon
Yeah.
ng Maynila.
It's simply because the fee is the fee is waived. So
Structure.
yeah.
Now,
So that's a big discount.
how
Yeah.
about for Bettina?
For Bettina, when I communicate with her, I always put something Japanese. I will tell her, "Good morning, my Japanese sashimi, my Japanese unagi, my Japanese sakura," and then I always tell her that you have to do not forget that to pray, to hear mass every Sunday. That even though if it's online, that's fine, but as long as you don't forget, and then you try to enjoy your life, but be safe, and be always. Ever since she was a child, she really had a dream of going to Japan.
Yeah, was
She
it
was
difficult
yeah.
though? Was it difficult for you to allow her? Because being a female and the
Yeah.
eldest.
Actually, she was the first one who went out because being the eldest.
Yeah.
But Josh, I think we made the right decision of allowing her, because now she's very independent. She learned how to cook. She learned how to iron her own clothes, to wash her clothes. She learned how to ride the bike. In Japan, it's almost everybody is riding a bike. So
Yeah.
when she goes to school and back, she's just on a bike. So she already lost weight, because she's kind of a bit on the big side.
Yeah.
But now she's slimmer. And now my dream for her is, I told her that maybe Ina, your future is to have a Japanese husband, or a foreigner to be a husband. It's okay for us in our family to have a foreigner blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before anything else, let's say hello to Sunny Francisco's watching. I know Sunny is
Yeah.
in Baguio right now, and I
Yes.
heard that they went to Baguio. Juliet Marcus is watching us from Laguna, and then Lina Sugalan
Absede.
Montalana Absidi. Oh, I always know her as Lina Absidi.
Yeah.
How are you, Lina? Happy viewing to you, and for the other people who are gonna watch, happy viewing to everybody. So, how long has Bettina been gone?
Just a little over a year. A little,
Okay.
less than a year. Less than a year.
Okay,
Right.
now let's start with Paolo. How about Paolo? Your dead
Paolo,
ringer.
yeah. I called her my favorite son, because he's the
That's right.
only
There's
he's
the
the
only
only son.
son.
So he's the favorite son. So I just tell her that, Paolo, you grow up to be a good son. You be more sensitive, and more patient, and then try to lose weight, because he's bigger than me. So I always tell my children that to I always dream of them to grow up to be good children, good citizens,
Yeah.
that and to be sensitive with other people. No, I always teach them that you try to help, you try to be very thankful. I always teach them to say always thank you, whoever the one helping you, whether it's a waiter or a taxi driver or whatever, always tell them to be always be rich in saying thank you. And I always tell them that not I raise them up so that they are simple. That
Yeah.
whatever they are wearing, even though they are not signature, as long as it's comfortable for them and it's nice when you look at them, it's very nice for them. Well, that's fine. So they are not maluho. They are not
Well, at least
extravagant. Yeah.
it's a good gesture
Yeah.
to be respectful to
Yes.
people, and that's really admirable for you to be able to that. Lina said, watching from Quezon City. Here, brother
Yes.
Doc J, Dueñas, and Tito Josh. Hey, Lina, it's been a while. I have not seen you. When I come visit, hopefully
Yeah.
soon, God willing. Now, you are a very busy person. Aside that you own or you co-own it with Dr. Teen, the Duenas
Yeah.
Medical and
And
Children's
children.
Clinic. You
Yeah.
do have other things that you do aside before you do the
Yeah.
couples for Christ, and now
Yeah.
you're doing the minister, the layperson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So aside from
Lectures and
that,
commentators.
you kind of host also. You're hosting or hosted
Yeah.
Katok. I like that. Katok si
Mosidok.
Doc. That
Yeah.
is
Katok
nice. It's an
Mosidok.
online late.
Yeah.
Well, the good
Yeah.
thing about it is, aside you guys who will be watching this, you need to follow Doc J Duenas YouTube
Yeah.
channel
Channel.
because
Yes.
it is so interesting. There's so
Yeah.
many things to talk about on different sickness, different medicine,
Yeah.
different aspect of. It's like it's like viewing things instead of you reading it. Just look for
Yeah.
the topic, voila, it's there. So it's
Yeah.
Dr. J Duenas on YouTube. So you do subscribe as well because it's very informative, if I may say.
Thank you. Thank you,
We would
Josh.
like to show some of them, but because of the technical difficulty, we're gonna let it slide for today. But please do look at all those topics that he had placed or posted in there because it's really, really a very informative YouTube channel. So
Yeah,
that's
actually, Josh,
mm,
with regards to that Katok mo si Doc, our tagline is malaman ang may alam.
yeah,
Because what we want is to simplify the knowledge of patients with regards to their disease. Because if you understand your sickness, you can actively participate in your treatment. Now, it's gone are the days when the doctors, okay, take this and then go
I
away.
know. Remember the olden
Right?
days?
Yeah, the olden days, it's just like that. Now, I spend time really to explain their diseases. That's why that program is to say to teach patients their the common illnesses, hypertension, diabetes, asthma, cancer, in very simple words that they can understand.
Yeah,
What medicines to take, what are the effects of this medicine, what are the laboratory exams that you need to take. So it's very simple because if you are knowledgeable, you become a better partner with your doctor on because it's a partnership really, Josh. It's
correct.
not really only the doctor.
And what better person to do that? 28 years in service. Oh my God, 28 years. That's
28 years, yeah.
that's really a milestone for a lot of people to be practicing for that long. And so now say hello to Joseph Mojillo or Mahilio.
Yeah.
Joseph, sabi niya, so cute how Doc J nicknames with Japanese foods. That's so true. Hello,
Yeah.
Joseph. Happy viewing to you.
Yeah.
And then,
Joseph is my student, medical student at Fatima.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you are part of the faculty for the internal medicine,
Yes.
right?
Correct, correct. I'm a
Let's
member
show that
faculty.
picture as well, yo. So we have pictures of you together with the other faculties of Fatima, Our Lady of Fatima University. I think it's showing there somewhere. Yo, okay. I think there's a delay because, as I've said, that they're in the middle of a snowstorm.
I know.
And then Gina Marcos is watching from Laguna, Banay Banay, Laguna. Hi, Gina. We have a lot of people watching today from the Philippines. Very popular kasi si Doc eh.
Mm.
Tapos, we already talked about your YouTube channel, so please do subscribe. Yeah, these
Yeah.
are your members. You see that from the.
Yes, yes, yes. That's from the Fatima.
So
Those
these
are
are
my
all the faculties,
co-consultants. Yes.
all the
I'm
consultants
teaching second year and third year medicine, internal medicine
in Fatima.
in Fatima. Yeah.
Yeah. So Fatima is the only place that you teach. Is there exclusivity because you cannot go to different places?
Well, we can, but I chose to stay just to stay in Fatima. Yeah.
Well, aside from your being you're a professor in
Yeah.
medicine, aside from your YouTube channel, aside from your own practice, I know you guest also
Yeah.
on a radio show, and
Yeah.
it's okay. Let me make sure I get this right. It is regular guest over radio program Radio Clinica. That's so clever.
Yes.
Radio Clinica, and it's
Yeah.
on DWIZ 882, right? And it's every Tuesdays at 7 for an hour. It's an hour show,
Yes.
7 to
Yes.
8 p.m. So and I know I watched some of the past shows. It was
Yeah.
again
Sorry about that. My dogs are running around.
they want to guess too.
Yes, I know.
Who's that? Is that Chewy or is it Hagrid?
We have a new dog. It's we call uh for a while. For a while. Let
I
me
think
just
we have a
get
picture of that too. It's a combination of black and white dog. Those not watching us on YouTube,
I'm very sorry for that commotion.
we have not lost the connection, but
Yeah.
he's looking at the dog of the new dog. So you
Yeah.
have that you guess. Is that a regular guesting for you, Dr. J?
Yeah, yeah, that's a regular slot for me every Tuesday. Over Radio Clinic, the name of the program is Radio Clinic. Also features any medical and health concerns. So it's every Tuesday at 7 to 8 p.m. Radio Clinica DWIC 882.
And then one of the things too that was fascinating is about the project that you did, which is
Yeah.
the it's a the video, a PE video that you did.
Yeah.
Can you talk
Right.
about that? Because it's
Yeah.
on YouTube channel in there. There's a portion of that. It's not a compilation, but there's a whole string like almost 38 minutes long.
Yeah.
So firstly, what was that all about and how
Yeah.
that came about?
Yeah. Well, actually, Josh, what this came about because if you would search YouTube and search for physical examination videos, most of the videos that you will see are foreign-made videos.
Yes.
So that's why I decided, I have to make one. It has been a long time dream that I will make these videos. A lot of people are pushing me to do these videos, and then I would always say I don't have time. Now comes the pandemic, Josh. Way back at when it was starting, 2021?
2020, yeah.
2020.
2020
Yeah.
March.
Yeah, 2020 March. Yeah. During that time, of course, we are locked. There was you cannot go out so much. So that's when I decided, now I have the time to do it. Now, these videos are made especially for medical students, but not only for medical students, but also for allied sciences like nursing, physical therapy. I am showing how to examine your patients, the different systems, head, eyes, ears, nose, chest and lungs examination, heart, abdomen, neuro, and I teach it in such a way that it can be readily understood. So most of my students, when they do their practical exams, they use that as a reference.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they use it as a reference. So this has been my dream, and this will be my legacy to the Filipino medical students.
So is this collection of physical examination? Because I know it's I like tagline, Gawang Pinoy para sa Pinoy.
Para sa Pinoy, yes.
Ang galing. Pero is this something you need to buy or is it up? Because I saw a compilation, part of it on your YouTube channel. So is that something that those people who are very interested, it's like you mentioned, medical students and allied sciences, Is
Yeah.
that something for purchase, or is that something they could subscribe?
No. You just sorry. You just subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then it's within the channel already, so you can
Right. So
access it.
yeah, so that's why again you need to subscribe, especially to the medical students. And if you have friends and family who are taking medicine or you're already in that
Even
field,
foreigners can also, because we have in Fatima, we have a batch of students who are international students from coming from
yeah.
US, from India, from
Yeah,
Thailand.
I have friends who graduated from Fatima in
You know, Josh, one
yeah.
of your friends, Facebook friends, is a my co-faculty in Fatima,
I
Dr.
know he
Edwin
mentioned
Fortuno.
when yeah,
Yeah,
Doctor yeah,
Edwin.
Dr. Edwin
Yeah.
Fortuno, yeah.
So we are
He's
together
also my
in internal
business partner
medicine.
in the restaurant. Yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
so you are you are a partner, the one in the restaurant in Tanay.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, so I know
Nice
him
to
really well.
know.
That's why when he saw your poster, he messaged me. I know that. I know him. I said, "Oh, good," because I know I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a very active member, a faculty member. But he does. I don't think. Yeah, he's internal medicine as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and his
He
specialization is for
specializes
older
in
geriatrics.
geriatrics and
Yeah,
infectious diseases.
yeah. So I know. I know. He told me he's gonna watching. He's gonna be watching the show. Maybe he's just quiet and he doesn't want
Mm.
to do shout out. Okay, now let's go to the meat of the. Now that we know about
Yeah.
all these things that you do. Oh, by the way, the clinic, your clinic. Let's start first with the clinic. What? When are you there? Because just like
Yeah.
here, we have so many doctors. Like I have my
Yeah.
own doctor here, and when there's another doctor who would not be able, or if my primary doctor would not be able to see me, I don't go because
Yeah.
I normally would like my normal doctor, my primary doctor,
Right.
because they know my history. He
Right.
knows my history. But
Yeah.
if there will be another doctor, the tendency is I have to explain from day one
From
what
the start.
happened to
Yes.
me
Yes. Correct.
and
Yeah.
my frustration sometimes if they don't read the medical record. So you have to
Yeah.
go and explain. So the reason why I'm alluding to that is because when is your clinic? Because I know if Dr. Tin's patient might like want to stay with Dr. Tin, being she's a pediatrician, and
Yeah.
then your patients would like to stay with you. When are
Yeah.
you there at your own clinic?
Yeah. Well, my clinic. So there's we are two in the clinic practicing. So my clinic, the adult medicine clinic, is my clinic is every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 12 noon, and then 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. The other days, that's why the reason why I don't have clinic is because that's my teaching load. That's the time that I am at Fatima teaching.
Now,
So
do
my
you,
clinic is Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday.
Tuesday, Fridays, and Saturdays,
Saturday, yeah,
and from 9 to
9 to 12 noon, and then 1 to 4 p.m.
okay, and then if anybody, because the good thing with your clinic when you search it on the Duenas Medical and Children's Clinic, it's great because the first thing that will pop up is it's an appointment request.
Right.
It's a pop up window, so you
Yeah.
guys, if ever, it's better that way to get an appointment. How hard it is, how hard or difficult it is to get an appointment with you, Dr. J.
Oh, it's very easy. They just have to access the FB page, the Dueñas Medical and Children's Clinic, and then they set up an appointment. Since because of the pandemic, what we do now, Josh, is every 30 minutes we see only one patient. So we only accept appointed patients. So we don't accept any walk-ins because this is in order so that we will have the chance to screen them before we see them. So especially during the peak of the pandemic, if your complaint is fever, cough, we tell them to opt to have an online consultation.
So
So
you
what
do
we
a
offer now,
teleconsult.
yes. So what we now they have an option. We can do teleconsultation. We can also do face-to-face consultation.
And how long would you be still doing this? Because there's so many things that's happening in your life with your extracurricular activities. When do you
Yeah.
find time to travel with Dr. Tin?
What we usually our target is at least once a year we have to travel. We talked among between the two of us. We said that we are not getting young. We have to do travel now when we can still walk, and then so that we won't have a hard time traveling. The kids, most of the time, they are with us. But during the times that we are together, we tell our kids, your time will come. You will
Yeah.
have your chance to travel. So
And
there
the
will be trips that we will only be together, me and mom.
and the good thing about that too is you somebody will be inheriting the business because that's a
Yes.
lot. So technically, it's a rite of passage because at least you have one doctor in the family who could
Yeah.
inherit the business that you built. Because that's really
Lucky
uh,
for her,
yeah,
Josh.
lucky for her
Lucky
because it's
for her
already
because
established.
when we started, me and Christine, we started from scratch.
From ground
There
up.
was
Yeah,
no, yeah, from ground up. We don't have any doctor, family relatives who are doctors. So when we were starting, we were happy if we have already or five patients. Sometimes we will tell our relatives, you just sit in the clinic so that people will see that there are people inside the clinic so that they will know that it's open. So we really had to establish our name, Josh. During that time, it was very hard because we started from scratch. That's why during our early years, we were transferring from we are going into clinics from other in different places because we are still establishing our name.
yeah,
But now it's much better,
yeah.
much better.
That's why Felisa is gonna have a walk in the park technically. Of course, she has to be good, but at least the
Yes,
business is there. She's just gonna fit in, and then
right.
I mean, it's already a built-in business. So the rest is just for her to make better on top of what you have already done and
Yeah,
accomplished. Okay,
right.
now what
Yeah,
now that you have your videos, you have your YouTube channel, you have your guesting in shows in Radio Clinica, and then you have your religion, the
yeah,
lay
yeah.
pastoral. What else do you want to accomplish? Is there anything else in your mind that's still hanging as part of your bucket list that you want to do for yourself?
Well, well, I still do want to travel at least. Well, we had the pictures that you saw in Egypt. That was part of our Holy Land trip.
Yeah,
So we went to Israel, to Egypt, to Jordan. So next on our bucket list is to go to Marian pilgrimage. So the
yeah. Oh wow,
Marian
Mama
sites
Mary.
like Lourdes,
Yeah,
Fatima, okay, and then what we want is not to grow. Well, we want that time to come that we are not no longer required to work every day. That you as doctors, well, doctors there's no retirement, right? But we were thinking that we also don't want to practice when we are very old already. That we can do still some clinic, but at our own time. That if you want, you can go. Yeah, probably we'll just turn over the clinic to Isai, and then
and
we will just go there if we want. If we want to.
and our listeners and our viewers, you would notice, and this is very clear. He will never the Dr. J will never say I. It's always we. So you could tell 30 years of marriage, of blissful marriage, that's what happened. The I became we. There's no
Yeah.
more we. There's no more I in we.
I Yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
it kind of
And we have
disappeared.
to when you are a couple, Josh. We always when you have been there for a long time, together for a long time, it's just even without words, you can communicate. Even with the eyes, when you try to look at each other, you know already what the other one wants. So, and then they said, Josh, when you have been along for a long time married, you start to look like each other. So if you would look at pictures, those who are celebrating 50 years, try to look, and then this couple, they almost look like they are the same. They look
Yeah,
alike,
that's what they said. Yeah.
right? So I told her, too bad for you. In a few more years, you will look like me already.
Or you could look like her.
Yeah, or I could look like her. So yeah.
Now, Dr. J, what can you advise our married couple who would be watching?
Yeah.
What is the secret to last for now and of course 30 years and counting? Because 30 years is a milestone. It's
Right.
bad. It's
Yeah.
difficult enough to have 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, which is silver,
Yeah.
30 years, and it seems like it's still going stronger
Yeah.
and closer. So
Yeah.
what are your secrets? when people would
So,
ask you,
yeah.
what is the secret of a happy marriage?
Okay. First, Josh, I would like to make a disclaimer. We are not a perfect couple.
There's no
We are
perfect
not a
couple.
we are not a perfect family. We still have problems, we still fight, we argue. Huh? So it's part. It's the daily living is a daily struggle. It's a daily adventure. Huh? But important thing is there should be love and respect for each other. Huh? Now, what's the practical tip? Learn how to. I don't know if you have. I guess you have already read the book of Gary Chapman, the Five Love
Yes,
Languages.
yes,
You have to identify the love language of your spouse, of your partner. So it may be physical touch, it may be words of affirmation, it may be acts of service. Because sometimes you do extra effort to do something for your partner, but that is not her love language. So, for example, like our case, I do give her gifts, but sometimes I can see that she's not appreciating it much because her love language is acts of service. So well, most of the time it may be multiple love language, but you try to to identify
identify.
the primary love language and try to fill up that. There we have a love tank, Josh. So you need to fill that up. It's okay for it to overflow. Because if during that times if you have problems, you are arguing and the water is uh, le- there is a it becomes lesser,
Yeah.
it's still okay because it's still the love tank is still there. So you have to know the love. And then we always talk with each other that there's a uh, something that guides in our relationship, that sometimes in a relationship, sometimes it's better to love than to be right. So meaning there are times that you have to humble yourself, even though that you know that you are right in an argument, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes in a spouse, in when they argue, one always wants to be correct, to be right, to be the one. But sometimes in an argument, sometimes you just need to 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 think more of about the love, to lower
Yeah.
down yourself, to try to compromise in order to sustain, in order to preserve the love in the relationship. So that's what we usually do. So when there's an argument, we don't go together. So sometimes when she is mad or she is I try to uh distance myself for a while,
Yeah.
and then once it's okay already, and then usually, and another thing that is whenever we sleep, we do not sleep on an argument. So most of the time, even if you do not apologize, you just embrace each other and kiss each other, the argument stops. So those are some practical tips. And probably
So one is
for
okay,
yeah,
one is to find the love language, two, be humble,
yes.
three, don't sleep
Don't sleep with
in,
an argument.
being until
Yeah,
you become,
yeah,
and that's
yeah,
touch. And
yeah.
anything else?
Yeah, another thing is try to avoid hurtful words,
Yeah.
right? Because hurtful words, the moment you speak them, there's already it stays for a long time. Even if you say sorry, it's been there already. It has already an effect. Like for example, it's your fault. You are like your mom. I don't want to talk about this. No? So try to avoid those words because sometimes hurtful words they tend to stick for a very very long time. Try to be more generous in your build up words like thank you, I'm sorry, I love you. Try to be rich in those words. No? And then one other thing that I would advise to our audience is when you are married, you try you should not have you should not stop from courting your wife.
Yeah. The
It should
romance should not
always be
stop. Yeah.
the love should not stop. So you should still go on dates, you give her flowers, you text her just a message like saying that I love you. So these are very important small things, but this will build your relationship as husbands and wives.
And that is part of the secret of your
Yeah,
30-year anniversary
yeah.
and
And one
counting.
last thing, Josh,
Yes.
always put humor in your marriage.
Is that
Because
right?
sometimes, yeah, I always when we are arguing, when there's a problem in the family, sometimes it's just a matter of making each other laugh, and then all the problems are gone. So never let humor. Do not be too serious
Yeah.
about
So
things that happens.
humor, communicate, be humble, don't
Yeah.
use hurtful words, and find the love
Yes.
language, and
Yes.
always spend time and keep that fire burning.
Never be busy for each
Never be
other.
busy for each other. Now that we know at least what makes your marriage work,
Yeah.
what are the three things about Dr. Team that stands out for you?
What stands out for me? One, she's a good mother to our children. Uh, we have different styles in raising the children. She tends to be more of tough love.
Yeah.
So meaning, so
So she's the
uh,
bad cop.
she, yeah, she's the bad cop. I'm the good cop. I'm the one who tends to spoil the children more. But I think it's a good thing because the children are, you can let them go when they are already, you are assured that when they leave the house, or for example for Ina, you know that you have raised them well because they can live by themselves. So we do not let them become too dependent on us. You have to learn how to live as a person. So I think she's very good in that. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's one. She's a good mom.
yeah, she's a good mom. And then of course her patience, she's a very good doctor. So most of her patients with just one day appear in the clinic as already as professionals, have married, who are married already, who have grown already, and they would just go to the clinic to just tell them, Doctora, I was your patient. You took care of me when I was a baby.
I
So
know.
and
Because
and you know that the children really love her. Even those children who are crying and crying, she has her way to appease them.
yeah, because I think that's one of the, I would say, specialization that you really would test really your patient is dealing with
Yes.
kids.
Right.
Okay, that's two.
That's
She's very
two. Then the
patient.
third,
She's
yeah.
a good
The
mom.
third one, the third one is, I would say she is uh, very, ha, very religious and has a very good relationship with God. Before, when we were starting as husband and wife, I was the one who was very religious because I am a member of Legion of Mary. I serve in the church, and then her background, they are not so much religious.
Yeah.
But when we were together, I taught her how to pray, how to hear mass every day, how to pray the rosary. Now she has already outgrown me. She's way past me. She's the one who tells me, "Oh, you pray the rosary. Oh, we need to pray our prayers. You hear mass. You go to confession." So she's much more closer now to God, to have a better relationship with God than me.
I think if I could add on the success of your 30 years being
Yes,
together would be your relationship with the good Lord that you adore.
yes,
Because I think that in a way, it
very
seems
much.
like to me, looking and hearing you and doing all my research about you, it seems like you made God the center of your universe,
Right.
and that's
That's
so
true.
awesome.
That's true.
Now, who
That's
is
true.
Dr. J when no one's watching?
Uh-huh. Well, I tend to be sometimes when they look at me, it seems that I'm very serious. I am hard to please or whatever, no? But actually, no. I'm a very simple person, and I like to crack jokes. I may look very serious. Most of the time, my students will tell me that I look very serious. But when they get to know me, they will learn that I am kengkoy, I am palatawa, and even with my kids, uh, I I am the only one who's really good in making them laugh. The whole family, when we eat together, so all of a sudden I will tell a joke, and then they will know that they have a no. And then I am also somebody who is very close to my children.
Hmm.
I would say I think that's another tip, so try to avoid loving your children more than your wife. Because tendency is sometimes you love more your children than your wife. It should always be the wife. Uh,
First.
the quality of a good father is if he is a good husband to his wife.
Oh, that's good to know. That's a good advice.
Yeah,
Our audience, listeners, and
yeah.
viewers,
So
remember
you
that.
have to
Be a
love
good
your wife,
husband.
be a good husband, be a good wife to your spouse, and then surely you will be a good father or mother to your children. It's not always, it should not be you love your children more than your spouse.
Now, Dr. J, what frustrates you?
What frustrates me, people who come in late. I'm very
Oh, that's
particular
going to
with
be
regards to
interesting
time.
about Filipino time. What do you do with
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Even
It's
when I go to
embedded. It's
class,
embedded in the Filipino culture.
I hope that will change. That is one of the things that really irks me when people come in late. Because my parents told me that it's better for you to wait than other people waiting for you. So
Yeah,
most of the time, I come in 1 hour before the appointed
yeah.
time.
It's always nice to be respectful of people's time,
Yeah,
but that's always my pet peeve have when I'm in the Philippines and I
yeah,
have meetings with friends. It's always the 15-minute late rule. I
yeah,
don't know what's
yeah.
going on. So now
I
what
know.
what my rule is, you're late, you pay. So now they're on time.
They're on time now. Yeah.
So and then what makes you smile?
What makes me smile? Simple things. Just to have my wife and my children with me, and I know that we are comfortable. We don't we I always, my rule in the family is you have to enjoy when you are at home. That the home should be a safe place to go back when you have problems, when you do something wrong. It is always good that to let your children and your spouse to be able to come back and feel safe when they are at home. Because some children, they tend to go to other people, seek advice to their friends, to other people,
Yeah.
and most sometimes they get the wrong advice. So what I always tell them, if you did something wrong, you are always welcome in our home. We may get mad, we might get frustrated on what you did, but we will always be at your side.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Now, if you could go back in time
yeah.
and you meet your 20-year-old self,
Mm-hmm.
what would you have said to him? Or what would you tell him?
Uh, what would I tell him? Try to try to live up to your dreams, and then that you can do anything as long as you put your heart and mind into it. So whatever your dream is, you go and fulfill it.
And then what do you do? Oh no, better. What do you tell yourself when you wake up in the morning and you look at the mirror? What first thing you tell yourself?
Hindi ka, you won't grow, you won't become better looking than before. You just have to be happy with what you have.
Now I could see the rumor in that. You funny guy. Now,
Yeah.
wh- what what makes you the person you are today?
Well, what makes me the person I am today is, uh, I believe it's more of the how my parents raised me up. I live in a very close knit family. My grandparents, my aunties and uncles, we always have this idea that uh, to be always family oriented. We always gather every weekends in our lolos and lolas house, have lunch together, play as a family with my cousins. So that's my exposure when I was a kid. It was really a happy family. Well, of course there are some arguments, but
Yeah, of course.
we always tell each other that the family should always come first. I think that's my that is what's guiding me now, that the family should always come first.
And that's awesome because whatever you showed as an example to your kids, they're gonna take them with them when they get married and they build their own
Yes.
family as well. Now, Dr. J, what legacy you want to leave to everyone?
Well, my legacy is I want that for all people, for everyone to know that I am a good father to my kids, a good husband to my wife, and a good teacher to my students. That uh, I especially with my kids, no? I want them to have only fun memories of me. So I always, that's why I tend to spoil them. I always tell them, I want you to remember me as somebody who is loving, who takes care of you. I try to avoid any more the negatives that will be have an effect on them, on their minds later on. So I always tell them that I want to leave a legacy that is positive, that is a loving husband and a loving father and a loving teacher to my students.
Now you mentioned that you spoil your kids. Do you spoil your students too?
Oh yes, they always tell me that they always want to be with, to that I will be their professor because
So you're not a strict professor. You're not a strict
no,
professor at all.
I am not a strict professor. I'm
But you
actually
don't
I
pass
am a
them
student.
simply because they showed up.
No, no, no. Of course, I evaluate them well, but my students will tell you that I always try to be considerate with them. And then if they have any problems, even though it is not related to studies, they can approach me anytime. And then I try to give them advices. And then when I teach them, I only do not teach the theoretical stuff, but also the practical everyday stuff. When they are already doctors, what are the problems that they will encounter? How will they deal with this patient? I always tell them that your grades will not decide on how you are to become a doctor later on. As long as you have a good patient and doctor relationship, nobody will ask you, did you pass? Or did you, of course, you have to pass
Yeah.
medical school, right? But not necessary to have very high grades. Huh? Because what will determine your relationship with your patient if you have empathy and you are somebody that the patient will be at ease to go. So that's the more important thing I always tell them.
Now, Dr. J, what are two things, or say two or three things, that you're willing to share to us and to the public
Mm-hmm.
about you?
Okay, one. I okay, one. I love trivia games. I wrote in my biography that I used to join uh, TV shows, TV
Yeah, Who
game
Wants to
shows.
Be a
Who
Millionaire?
Wants to
And
Be a
Game Ka Na
Millionaire?
Ba? And Missing
Game Ka Na
Link.
Ba? And Missing Link. I love trivia games and puzzles. Uh, Sudoku. So I love this game. I love these games. And every time that there is trivia games in the hospital or when we have family gatherings, I always win because I think it's part of the talent that when I see something interesting, it sticks to my mind and I remember it. So I am fond of trivia. Huh? So that's one. Second is
You're a
uh
trivia holic.
yeah, trivia holic. Second one I think is what can I another thing that I can say. I am also I am a good sleeper. I am a good sleeper. I think it is also a gift because my wife is she's having problem falling asleep, but me, even if I'm tired, even if I did something or whatever, if I stayed up late, for sure the moment I lay in bed I am asleep. So
Is
I'm a
that
very
right? Oh my God, you have to
yes,
teach me how you
I
do
don't
that.
have yeah, I don't
That's
have
my
any problems
problem.
with sleeping. Even I can sleep with sitting down, I can sleep even
Unbelievable. That's
yeah,
tough.
I think it's a talent and it's a gift from
It's a
God to be
gift.
able
I agree
to
with you.
sleep
It's a gift.
well.
Yes.
Yeah. So my wife is always having a problem sleeping and she's been taking drugs just to fall asleep. Me, the moment I lie down on my bed, I sleep. And then even if they try to wake me up, unless they shake me, I
Oh,
won't
you're a deep
wake up.
sleeper then.
I'm a deep sleeper. I'm a deep
Wow.
sleeper. Yeah. Okay, what's another trivia an interesting well if well one other thing is well probably I would say that I am a good dog. I would say that I love my patients. I think that's a very uh, well my patients will agree. So some I always tell my students that if you are a good doctor, your patients it is true the rumor is true that sometimes patients even just looking at you when they are at the clinic they feel better. So try to achieve that when your patients are with you, even if you haven't done anything yet, the moment they see you, they are already cured. And I said that it's true. It happens. that
The psychological of it.
the
Yeah.
psychological effect of that. I guess that's
Well, I'm glad
good
that you
advice.
said that
Yeah,
because I think that's what's missing in most, especially the newly graduate doctors.
yeah,
They, well, I could speak like here, the doctors here, they see
yeah.
you as a number. It's just
Oh
like,
yes,
well,
yes,
unlike that's why Filipino doctors and nurses are the best of the best, and they're
yeah.
really touted to be best of class
They are very
because the
dedicated and
patient care is
committed to their work.
amazing and they do
Yes, yes.
remember things. But
Right, right.
if you go to a doctor, of course there's some exception to the rule, but a lot of times they look at you as your number, and that's
Yes,
really what
that's right.
frustrates a lot of patients.
Right, right, right.
Now, doctor, if you are not a doctor, if you're not an internal medicine physician, what would you have been?
I could have said I want to be a movie star. That is one dream that I or anything that's related to show business.
But you
But
are
not,
partly in show business. You're a talk. You do talk host. You do
yeah,
that, and
probably
then you
yeah.
do,
And
yeah.
that's the
It's the
most
fun part of it. Yeah.
yeah the yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it's never too late. You
but
can
if you
always be
would
a character actor.
what so I'm only for character actors, Josh, not
No,
for
because at the end of the day,
yeah.
you cannot be a matinee idol
No
anymore.
more,
You're
no
past
more.
your
Yes, correct.
prime. Well, you
Yes,
never
correct.
know. We
Yeah.
because
Well,
some friends
yeah,
of mine were putting something together in the
yeah,
next months or so. We're producing a film in the
yeah,
Philippines. Yeah,
yeah.
maybe we'll invite you to do a cameo
Oh, thank you, Josh. I
to
would
play
love that.
yourself, to play
Well,
a doctor as well.
but going back to your question, what would I be? I think it would still be a teacher because I love teaching. You know, I if I would consider it, I would earn more if I just practice and not teach.
Yeah,
But because of my desire to teach students, younger people who will become future doctors, I sacrifice my time to teach them. So I believe even if I'm not in the medical field, I will still be a teacher,
and
probably an elementary or high school teacher.
yeah, that's amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
Doc J, how do you want to be remembered? Not that you're gonna pass tomorrow.
Yeah.
How do you want people to remember you? How do you want to be remembered?
Uh, how do I remember? How do I want to be remembered? I just want to be remembered as to be a loving husband and to be funny father, a funny father to to my kids. I'm already okay with that.
Okay, and then two last question in the
Yeah,
order of what you do as your role. You're a
yeah,
teacher. You're an instructor. You're a doctor. You're a husband, a
yeah,
wife.
yeah,
You're a father.
yeah.
Which one is the most important to you? The first three.
First three is as a husband to Christine. Second, as a father to my kids, to my three kids, and then lastly, probably as a doctor to my
Wow.
patients.
Wow. Okay, let's go now because a lot of people are texting me. What are your social media? They could follow
Yeah,
you. Let's start slowly. Facebook, where can they find
yeah.
you on Facebook?
My Facebook is Doc J Duenas. That's my Facebook account name. And then I do have an FB Messenger, which is also Doc J Duenas. And then I have a Facebook page, the Dueñas Medical and Children's Clinic. And finally, my YouTube channel, which is also named Doc J Duenas.
Okay, so it's all that, and the Duenas is not the Dueñas. It's really
Not
Dueñas, but
Dueñas.
on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
keyboard, it's hard to find the
yeah.
Enye, especially
So
Filipinos
in my
abroad.
social media accounts, it's Duenas, not Dueñas.
Yeah, so it's
Duenas. Yeah,
Duenas, but it's
yeah.
really Dueñas.
Dueñas,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Now, so your YouTube channel is Dr. J Duenas, and
Duenas. Doc
again,
J Duenas.
Doc J Duenas, and please
Duenas.
do subscribe because that physical examination is amazing, and those other topics that he talked about, and then your show, your radio show that you guest every Tuesdays from 7 to 8 p.m.
Yeah,
and that
it's over
is
at
Radio
Radio
Clinica,
Clinica,
and it's on,
DWIC 882 with Miss Maru Pahati Sarne.
and that you're a regular there every Tuesday.
Tuesday at 7 to 8 p.m.
And then what about Katok?
katok mo si Doc, you can just view the previous episodes. When the pandemic was a little getting better, I didn't do not have any more further episodes. But the previous episodes, it's all uploaded in my YouTube channel.
And I would recommend, it's the in thing now for physician friends of mine here in the US and in other countries. They're doing TikTok.
Yeah.
And you have so much
I've
material, Dr. J. You have so much material. TikTok is
Yeah.
short and talk
Yeah.
about anything that's medically driven.
Yeah.
And I think that would be really, really good, not only for people, but it's good also because it's easy monetized.
Yeah. I know, but a lot of people has been telling me to go on TikTok. But I was thinking that TikTok was only you just need to dance and do different funny stuff. But
No,
so they said me
everybody
no.
now.
Yeah,
There's Dr.
yeah.
Kalimanjaro.
Kalimanjaro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I
I
I
know that. Yeah,
followed, and there's
yeah,
other doctors now that
yeah.
I
Other
followed.
doctor. Yeah.
And because it's the world, like what you said nga, ibang may alam.
Yes.
Yeah, knowledge is power. And now,
Knowledge is power.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the more you know, the better it is. And I like the way you said about the physical examination, gawa ng Pinoy para sa Pinoy.
Para
And
sa
you said
Pinoy.
it could be also viewed and
Yeah.
useful to foreigners as well. Okay,
Yes,
now let's
definitely.
invite everybody to
Yes.
subscribe to your YouTube channel and to other social media that you have. Message to your supporters, to your
Yeah.
students, to your kids, and of
Yeah.
course to Doc Christine.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank Josh for giving me this
It's a
opportunity.
pleasure.
I mentioned to you that this will increase my reach. Now it's global because your show is a global show. So I know that this will reach a lot of people all over the world. So this is my first time to go global. So that's why I really would like to thank you. And then of course for my wife, thank you for all your support. I know I'm not a perfect husband. I do have my flaws. I do have my idiosyncrasies. When you grow old, you become hot-headed. You become, well, just bear with me. I always tell you that you are my love because we've been together for 30 years, and you are also my life because I draw strength from you. When I am with you, I feel that I am strong.
That's so
Now, for my
beautiful.
kids, I'm always here for you. I will always support you with whatever your dreams and your aspirations. You always think that me and your mom, Christine, is always here to support you. We will always love you to infinity and beyond.
Wow.
And then for my students, of course, feel always free. Even if you are finished already with me, you are finished with my course, with the course that I'm teaching. I'm always here if you have any problems, whether it's medical, whether it's emotional or family problem or whatever advice that you need. I am just a message away. Okay? Of course, financial, I will refer you to Josh. Okay.
Well, Dr. J, it is always a pleasure. And I know this will not be our last meeting,
Yes.
and I'll be inviting you to
Sure.
co-host with me in my other show
My pleasure. My
because I think
pleasure,
you'll
Josh.
you'll you'll provide wisdom not only on the married life as well as on the medical side. And I will definitely invite you. It's always on your time. It's a Sunday at 2 o'clock
Sunday.
p.m. This AlamMoBa is kind of longer because it
Yes.
depends on our like right now. If you have not noticed, we've been talking already for an
Yeah.
hour and
Hour and a
almost an
half.
hour and 45 minutes.
Yes. Yes. Correct.
We're hitting already the mark, and there's the good thing with the PHLV radio through Yo. He really doesn't give me any time limit. So as long as we have an engaging guest like yourself, and people
Thank
could
you.
pick up bits and pieces, nuggets of wisdom, and that's the beauty of PHLB radio. It allowed me to share not only myself but also the guest life experience, and that we could share and people could take lessons and things like that. So I really appreciate. I know it's a Saturday afternoon, it's a family day, and I know you are very busy, and I'm taking some time for your kids. I am so happy and glad that although we only met through our,
I know.
albeit through web,
Yes.
one of these days I'll definitely let's get together when I come visit.
Yeah. So
the
I hope when you
Philippines.
visit the Philippines, let's have a eat out because that's
Yes,
our
for
bonding.
sure, for
We can
sure,
eat out.
including Dr.
I
T.
will treat you. I will treat you out.
Yes,
So give me
please.
the chance to treat you out. So we'll definitely see each other and get to know each other better, more
Yes, and maybe we
personally.
could do some projects together too, because I'm open
Yes,
for that too. You never know. You never know.
sure.
Maybe you could be an artista. Maybe it's one of your
Hopefully,
bucket lists. I could fulfill that eventually.
yes.
So
Are
with
you
that,
still connected with GMA, Josh?
on and off, because right now I
On
have
and off.
not signed any contract because
Yeah,
I'm pursuing other things. I'm
yeah.
doing some
Probably
project to
because
do things.
yeah, the reason why I asked that because we will have our 40th anniversary as in our medical school. So we are planning to do visit a program in
Ah, no,
GMA.
just call me because I am not doing the old thing that I do for them, but I still
Yeah,
handle the commercials.
commercials.
Yeah,
Okay, so
so
I'll do
I'm
that. I'll
still
contact you.
well entrenched. So whatever you need, let me know. Give me some time, some time to, and then I'll connect you with the right people. Yeah,
I thank you
yeah,
very
they're
much,
always
Josh. I
open. I
appreciate
mean, if
it.
you go
Yeah.
to any station, and now I'm open to all the stations now. But definitely, I have still good friends. I'm still with them technically because I
Thank you
still do
very
the
much. I'll do
commercial.
that.
I still do all the commercial insertions for them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you very much, Josh.
Yeah, but again, thank you so much for your time. Don't hang up because after the show, I'll talk to you a little bit. But
Yes.
before we close the show, always remember what I said every time I close my shows. Be kind. You can never go wrong with kindness. And any act of kindness that you do to people, it is pretty guaranteed. It will come back to you in so many ways, so many forms, and in different times. And that's a guarantee. So if I don't see you tomorrow for another show, you guys have a wonderful weekend, whatever is left of it. And God bless your next week and make it a safe weekend for everybody. And enjoy the week next week. And God bless us all. Goodbye, everybody. And until next time, again, you just saw a beautiful show of AlamMoBa with Kuya Jush Andowitt. Hello, everybody, and good night. Bye-bye, and good day to everybody.